Okay, so let's say your sales team has a couple of AI wizards, those individuals who are just brilliant at crafting prompts and getting these incredible results. That's awesome. But what happens when all that genius stays locked away with just one person? Today, we're going to dive into how you take that solo talent and turn it into a scalable, secure, and seriously powerful advantage for your whole organization. Let's get into it. And just so you know, the insights and the framework we're walking through today come directly from Chapter 8 of a fantastic tutorial by Virtualization Options LLC, so all credit to them for laying this out so clearly. This slide just lays out the whole challenge perfectly, doesn't it? On one side, you've got individual skill, and that leads to knowledge getting stuck in silos, really inconsistent results from person to person, and frankly, a pretty high security risk. But when you flip the switch and build a true team capability, well, that's a whole different ballgame. You unlock shared expertise, you get consistent quality across the board, and you operate in a managed, secure way. You go from just a few individual wins to a real, lasting organizational advantage. All right, so here's our game plan for today. First, we'll touch on the limits of relying on just solo skill. Then, we'll get into the fun part, building your AI playbook. After that, we'll cover the super important governance and security guardrails. And we'll wrap it all up by talking about how to create a genuine culture of sharing. So let's be real for a second. Having one or two AI rockstars on the team is a great start, but it's not the end game. It's actually a bottleneck, right? The real power, the kind that actually scales and gives you a competitive edge, comes from the entire team. It's about speeding up the learning curve for everybody and making sure your brand speaks with one consistent AI supercharged voice. So if that's the problem, what's the solution? Well, we build an AI playbook, and the absolute heart of this playbook, the foundation that makes this whole thing work, is a centralized prompt library. So what exactly is a prompt library? Think of it like this. It's your team's collective AI brain. It's a structured, organized home for all of your best, most effective, and pre-tested prompts. It's not just some static document sitting in a folder somewhere. It's a living, breathing library of shared knowledge that everyone can pull from and add to. But a library's totally useless if you can't find the book you're looking for. Structure is absolutely everything. You've got to organize it in a way that just makes sense, maybe by the stage of the sales cycle, like prospecting or discovery, or by specific things you're trying to do, like drafting emails. You can even tag prompts by how tricky they are. But here's the golden rule. Make it incredibly easy to find what you need right when you need it. So what goes into a really great library entry? Well, it's way more than just the prompt itself. Of course, you need the prompt template with clear placeholders for people to fill in, but you also have to explain the use case. When and why would you use this? You need a quick guide on how to customize it, some critical security notes about what data to use, and this is key, you have to show an example of what a great output actually looks like. That makes it pretty much foolproof for anyone to use. Okay, so we've got this amazing playbook. It's powerful. But with great power, well, you know how it goes. You absolutely need some rules of the road to prevent things from getting messy and to manage risk. This is where governance comes in. Think of these as the essential guardrails that keep everyone using AI safely, securely, and effectively. It really boils down to four main areas. First, tool access. Who gets to use what and are they trained? Second, data security. And this part is non-negotiable. It means mandatory training on protecting sensitive customer info, or PII, and your own company's secrets. Then you need quality standards. A human always has to review the output, right? And finally, a clear process for how new knowledge gets shared and approved. A really fantastic way to make all this happen without it feeling like some big top-down mandate is this thing called the security champion model. Instead of security being just one person's job, you train a few key team members to be the go-to experts. They become the resources for everyone else, they help review prompts, and they really help that security-first mindset spread across the whole team. It's super effective. All right, we've got the system, we've got the rules. But you know what? The final piece of the puzzle, and honestly, maybe the most important one, is the people. We have to build a culture where sharing what works, sharing prompts, ideas, and wins becomes a natural habit, not just another item on a to-do list. So how do you actually do that? Well, you get practical. You can hold prompt showcase meetings where people get to show off their successes. You can pair up your power users with people who are still learning the ropes. Hey, you can even make it fun with some friendly competitions. But most importantly, you have to document the success stories. You have to connect the dots and show how using this AI playbook is leading to actual business wins. That's what gets everyone on board. I absolutely love this quote from the source material. It just perfectly captures the right mindset. Treat prompts as living assets that evolve with collective experience. A prompt library isn't something you create once and then forget about. It's alive. It should be constantly growing and getting smarter as your team pours their collective experience into it. So that brings us to the final question, the one for you to think about. When you consider your own team, your challenges, and what you're trying to achieve, what's the very first play you're going to add to your new AI playbook? Start right there, and you can build your team's collective power one prompt at a time.